Yeah. So that's a great point. I have a certain opinion on this, and I actually think the particular moment we're at now in Chicago, but also in other cities, is it creates a bit of a trap in the following sense. When crime starts to go up, there's panic, as it should be, right? We want to save lives, and everybody starts to focus on the here and now. And actually, some of the approaches around, so what we're doing with network science, that's like, how do we save lives today? Right? What can we do to stop person A from, say, being shot? The thing is that the conditions that that person A is in is absolutely about a whole range of inequalities, right? So even the decision, or decision's a loose word, but even being involved in, say, a dispute today in a neighborhood in Chicago, that might be a new dispute, but it's conditioned on 400 years of bad policy and inequality and poverty being one of the key drivers. So the trap always happens when all we do is focus on the here and now, and we forget and don't do anything about those structural conditions. And it's always a trade-off. Budgets are always limited, but that then becomes this sort of debate between root causes or sort of the here and now. The truth is we have to do both, and especially when you're talking about something like gun violence or homicides. The average age of a homicide victim in Chicago is in the mid-20s, and it actually hasn't moved much in about 20 or 30 years, which means that the types of, say, programs you need to reach or stop a 25-year-old, let's say, from being engaged in violence, or to get them to kind of, go a different way, is not the same as someone you would need as a middle schooler or an infant or an expecting mother or a family. And so you have to have a range of options. And always what happens in these moments is we zoom in on the sort of most immediate headline and focus on it. And let me just give one other example. Even as we talk about COVID, right? The reason we need to do contact tracing is to save lives, to get those numbers down, to make sure we can contain this thing so that life can go back to whatever it's going to go back to. But unless we address the massive health disparities in our neighborhoods, the next epidemic that happens is going to have the same impact. And we have to do both of those things. So access to healthcare, access to PPEs, access to other safe ways to move around your neighborhood and get food, all of those things are combined. And so we have to do both. And in the same context of say, violence, you have to do both at the same time. Otherwise, we just keep falling back, which is part of the reason that crime maps in Chicago haven't changed in 60 years. It's the same reason that even though crime rates fall, the same neighborhoods are always experiencing gun violence. And it's built that way. We built the city that way, quite literally, to kind of keep gun violence here and not here. And we have to do something about that at the same time that we're trying to save people's lives. And there are different suites of approaches that you need, for this whole range. It's not just one single thing.